Hello everyone, hope you all are doing great. I am Partharu, Events and Program Manager for Microsoft Reactor. And yes, I welcome you all to yet another episode of Copilot Chronicles. But before we start at today's event, let's go through our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, participate together. So please be respectful of other people's views, understanding the differences, be kind and considerate in a way we all engage. Yes, we do encourage you all to participate. Please drop all your questions in the comment section and we'll pick it up from there. I would not like to delay further and would like to bring in our host for today's event. That's Kamala Shri. Kamala Shri is a developer advocate from M365. Hey, hi Kamal, how are you?
I'm good, Parth. How are you?
All well, all great. Excited for the another episode of Copilot Chronicles.
Same here. Excited about another series, another insight on the Copilot agent side. So we are getting from all the sides, whether it could be studio, integrating another applications, or in and out of Copilot. Everywhere we're getting a lot of requests. So today we are going to touch another flavor of Copilot agents, like how ServiceNow, like how do I integrate Copilot Studio with ServiceNow. So today I have two amazing folks, Rakesh and Kaiser, who are going to talk and tell us, as I mentioned, how Copilot Studio integrates with ServiceNow, how it helps business automate things or take actions through Copilot agents. Now, what audience will get to know about it is custom Copilot Studio agent. That is something which everybody looks for it. If I have to create a normal agent, I can do it with so many other applications available. Custom Copilot always gives that extra flavor of customization touch to your agent part, end-to-end automation, or bridging those gaps. How do I do it? Or some kind of use cases. I'm sure they're going to come up with some interesting use cases, which is like it could be an IT support where you can create, update, track incidents via Copilot, or an HR request with the policies, benefits, or maybe knowledge management. It could be like retrieving articles or troubleshooting guide with Copilot. So I'm excited to watch what Rakesh and Kaiser has got today. So welcome Rakesh, welcome Kaiser. The floor is all yours. Looking forward for your event.
Thank you. Thank you, Kamal and Parth, for giving us an opportunity to share our knowledge and thought process that we built for this demo. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. So, good evening, everyone, those who joined from India, and good morning and good afternoon, those who are outside of India. So, we are pretty much excited today to share our thought process on the service now and how the service now, with the help of Copilot Studio, as a no code platform to build your own agents. We will see in next 60 minutes or so, we will try to touch base two key segments. One would be the thought process and the setting up a context. What is this Copilot Studio is all about, how you can build your custom Copilot with the help of the natural language, and then how you can use the ServiceNow connector and how those can be in actions. At the same time, we will also run through the demo. In the demo, we will see three core use cases that we have scheduled or planned for this presentation day. At the same time, we will also see how naturally you can connect with the Copilot agents that we are going to build in front of you, and you'll see that action maybe next 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. So just to set the context, what we are going to discuss today in terms of the agenda, we will start with the very basic understanding of the Copilot Studio, especially for those who are not familiar with what is the Copilot Studio as an app, or maybe not having the pretty much idea about the offering from Microsoft. Then we will move on to the business use cases, where we will talk about three core business use cases in a day-to-day activity where IT pros or business users typically use the service now, and what the action in terms of the Copilot agents and how it is going to be beneficial for them to increase the productivity in their day-to-day activity. But while saying so, we will also try to focus more on the ServiceNow developer box. If at all, if someone wants to get their hand dirty, try to build their knowledge and the thought process, how you can deploy the ServiceNow developer box. What are the limitations and pros and cons comes with the ServiceNow box, if at all, if you are day-to-day activity using or not. Then we will also see how do you build a Copilot agents. As Kamal mentioned that Microsoft already shipped bunch of first-party apps in terms of the Copilot agents, but we will see how we can quickly build the third-party Copilot agents app and how naturally we can connect with the information that are inside with the ServiceNow as an app. And towards the end, we will have a demo and a walkthrough. So in terms of my introduction, my name is Rakesh Jarge. I'm a Microsoft MVP in business application, as well as fast track recognized solution architect from Microsoft. I'm here with today my friend Khizar Ansari. Khizar, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi guys. Hope you are all fine from wherever you are joining. Thank you very much for joining us on a weekday. We know that it's a very busy day, and I'm a technical consultant for the past 3 years in Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operations domain, and I have been a speaker at the Global Power Platform Summit as well. And I'm a user group leader for the Microsoft community, and I hope you guys enjoy the session. Over to you, Rakesh.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Khizar. So just setting up a tone here, what is a Copilot Studio? So Copilot Studio is one of the offerings from Microsoft which allow you to build a low code and no code sort of it's a platform which allows you to build the customizing and the building your own AI powered copilots or agents for that matter, which not only just seamlessly integrate with Microsoft 365 or Dynamics 365, but it does also allow you to create or connect with a third party enterprise application. For an example, you may have a Salesforce, you may have a SAP, or for that matter, ServiceNow, which is our today's topic. And it does allow you to, go with some sort of very natural flow of low code and no code sort of aspect where very less amount of code or the language that you use. In terms of the tailoring experience with any sort of businesses that you currently are using. Definitely, there is a need for the extension, and that's where the Copilot allows you to build your own extension. If you look at this presentation slide, you would see that the Copilot, which is runs on the natural language, nothing but the user prompts, which is grounded on the set of information that you already have or connected, which is runs on OpenAI large language models. It does also have the capability within the Microsoft 365, whether it's a Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. The Copilot is your AI companion for your day-to-day activity, which behind the scenes uses the Microsoft Graph. If at all, if you want to, connect or bring any sort of or retrieve any sort of information from the data that you have. It does also have the connectivity your the Microsoft Dataverse, typically the Power Apps or Microsoft Dynamics 365 customer engagement app, where you can bring the data and start acting upon it. It does also provide the data to be grounded using the web, any sort of web platform that you can connect the dot, and which is the last bit, which is our today's topic, nothing but the Copilot extension, where it does also allow you to extend the platform in such a way that you can connect with the third-party connectors. You can also have any sort of other activity that you want to extend it further with the help of the Copilot extension. That's how the today's topic is all about, where we will see how quickly we can create the Copilot agents, how quickly we can start interacting and building the topics and the set of other synonymous and the glossary aspects and all. I'll not go into detail now. We'll see in that demo in action. In terms of the core business use cases, there are many use cases. There is no limit to it. But in the interest of today's session topic, we have limited ourselves three core use cases where in a day-to-day activity, IT pros or business users often use the ServiceNow as a tool to record the incidents, right? This is nothing but the incidents management tool, which is typically any sort of observation or issues or bugs, the application that they are using, whether it's a Microsoft Stack application or any other third-party application, the ServiceNow is typically being used to record that incident, right? When the incident is being recorded, the incidents goes through a multiple process of the statuses, or you may call it as a workflow. And then once the incident is assigned to a respective team, the team started acting upon it, right? But while doing so, The incidents should not be repeated multiple times because it's a knowledge-based repository sort of concepts. Always a company mentions so that there will be a less amount of information the business users can spend. For an example, today I raise one incident for a specific topic, and day after tomorrow the same issue arises. There is no need for the another user to start creating another incident, right? That's where the knowledge-based articles typically being maintained and managed by the enterprises or the customers. That's where the service now comes into picture, where the knowledge base also can be tagged to the incidents creation. We will see that in action, how quickly and how seamlessly we can retrieve that knowledge base article based on a set of prompts. Then we also talk about the incidents lookup, which is often typically a day-to-day activity business users use, where the incidents to be look up to for the purpose of where that look incidence is lies, whether it is lies with the person who is doing the deep dive into activity and all, or whether it is some action to be taken care for that aspect, right? So we will have these three core use cases. One is the incidents lookup, second one is the knowledge based search, and third one is the incidents lookup. Now I'll move on to next slide, which is a demo time. I'll take a pause and I'll request Kizer to focus on this.
Thank you, Rakesh. Uh, so let me quickly try and share my screen. Can someone confirm if my screen is visible?
That is visible.
Okay. So first of all, we'll try to understand what is the uh, different components that we have used in building this Copilot agent. Okay. So this Copilot agent comprises of two applications. That is first the Copilot Studio itself, and second the ServiceNow connector. So if some of you are familiar with Power Automate, how that flow progresses, Copilot Studio is somewhat similar, except for the natural language idea on top of it. So if you can let me quickly go through the PPT once so that you have an idea here. Yeah. So if you see here, Copilot is comprised of multiple technologies behind the scenes. It includes, if you see here, Microsoft 365 app, meaning it includes Outlook, Teams, and all the M365 suite applications. So what you can do is you can create a bot in Copilot Studio, have multiple actions created behind it, have multiple topics created behind it, and you can simply integrate that bot with any of the M365 suite applications. So what will happen is, suppose if I am inside my Teams application, I'm discussing something with a colleague of mine, and I see that okay, a particular incident has come up in the conversation, and he or she is asking me that what's the current status and how can you do that. So instead of navigating away from Teams, what I can do, I can open the Copilot agent within the Teams app itself. I can use natural language, get the status of the incident, or get some information about the incident. Who was the last person who worked on that incident? What was the comment? What was the last note on ServiceNow in that incident? And I can directly connect with that person, provided that whoever is pinging that bot has the sufficient access. We'll see how that access management is also done behind the scenes. So similarly, if you see here, we have the web symbol here. So what this web symbol demonstrates. So let's assume that your Copilot or someone is asking a question that is outside the reaches of Copilot, or maybe there is no specific topic that has been defined in the studio. So what you can do, you can enable the generative AI orchestrator. So it's a preview feature. So I have not enabled it here. So basically what it will do is Copilot will automatically redirect your topics. It will automatically try to understand the context in which the user is prompting, and it will try to display some relevant information. So instead of terminating the chat abruptly and giving a weird behavior, your conversation keeps on going, and content keeps on flowing. Moreover, that if you have a big knowledge repository, like it always happens that people are moving in and out of projects, and uh, I moved into a project which is quite new for me. Not only the business process but also the technical side of things is new for me. So if I develop a simple documentation about the business process and the technical side of things, what I can do, I can upload the document in SharePoint, ask Copilot to refer the SharePoint and scan that knowledge repository and keep a reference at the back of its mind. So whenever someone in the Copilot Studio pings that I want to know something about the business process of this particular customer, and I want to know about this technical detail or something, like I want the integration design document, or I want the report design document, or the solution design document, something like that. So provided that I have the required access, which you can also govern in the Copilot Studio itself, you can check whether the user has an access or not. You can directly fetch that document or the content of the document, or summarize that the content of the document directly in your chat window, and the user can quickly glance through that content and decide whether it is relevant for him or her. So I'll quickly. So we have three business use cases, as Rakesh already highlighted: the incident creation, knowledge-based search, and incident lookup. So incident creation is very simple. I'm sitting somewhere, and within Teams or Outlook, I see that I'm encountering some issues, and I just go to the chat Copilot window. I see that I need to raise an incident. It will ask some follow-up questions to gather information, and it will create an incident. Knowledge-based search. So most of the people who are familiar with ServiceNow, you might understand that sometimes this is also referred as KB articles, or knowledge articles, or knowledge base. So we have these articles, small articles about a repeated issue, or about a more encountered business process. Okay, so people are always asking about. So people often raise ticket, thinking that they don't know about this, but most of the times there is a knowledge base which exactly matches their requirement. So what you can do is you can ask Copilot to have this at the back of its mind, that if someone asks a question, first look into the knowledge base repository, search the knowledge base repository. If you find something relevant about it, then you return that data. Incident lookup. So let's assume I raised an incident already, and it has been 1 or 2 days, and I just want to know what is the status of the incident, and there's a meeting going on. I just quickly want to know what's the status of the incident. I don't want to log into ServiceNow, or I don't want to go through all that things, searching the incident and all those things, going through my emails, or searching the raised email something. So I just say that, okay, I have this incident number, just tell me what is the status and last workload. So it will quickly try to bring all the data onto your screen. A fair warning, a quick disclaimer: this is all AI generated content. It is bound that during runtime it might fail. It might fail during runtime. But so keeping that in mind, I have already took multiple screenshots while my testing, so that if runtime, because it's a generative AI content, it's not deterministic. It has a non-deterministic output. So I'll try to demonstrate first. If something fails, I'll go through the screenshots, try to give you a flavor of what's happening, and let's see how things goes. Okay, so it's demo time. So first, coming to the part, I hope my screen is still visible, and I'm not breaking. Okay, so this is the ServiceNow developer portal. So how did I acquire a ServiceNow instance to do this little POC? So there is a developer.servicenow.com. Okay, I've already logged in with my credential. Okay, and in this instance, here if you see, there is a start building button. When you don't have an instance, here it says request instance. Once you click that, it will automatically deploy an instance. Okay, a developer instance, and through that instance, what you can do is you will get a instance URL. You will get a admin privileges ID and a password. Okay, so I have already logged in into that developer instance. If you see here, so this is what that ID looks. So this is the base URL. If you see here, dev something service now. Fair warning: if you forget to log into this developer instance within 10 days, it will be taken out. It will be scratched or deleted. Okay, it will just poof, vanish. So make sure, if you have this POC, keep on signing in every 10 days to keep this alive. So how is Copilot Studio? So now you have deployed a ServiceNow instance. You have the URL and all the credentials and everything. How is Copilot Studio communicating with ServiceNow? So as we all know, it's a age and technology of APIs. So everything is happening behind the scenes with API. So if you see here, this is a particular API. So we have multiple what you can say actions. So let me navigate to Copilot Studio. So if you see here, we have the ServiceNow agent here. So there are multiple actions in Copilot Studio regarding ServiceNow. So let me show you one of them. So let me create a topic. So what is the topic? A topic is basically something that you want to focus on, you want your bot to focus on. So topic is triggered by another topic. Topic can also be triggered by some events happening in your application. Topic can also be triggered using Power Automate flows or something. So usually people use phrases. So this is nothing but a trigger phrase. So you will say that whenever someone asks about knowledge base or knowledge article or incident, just run this particular topic. So it will automatically run this topic and everything that is present here. People who are familiar with the Power Automate structure, if you see, this is also flow kind of structure. You can click on the plus icon and here you see multiple actions. So how is a ServiceNow action accessible here? So if you see here, there is a option called as add action, and if you go into connector section and if you just simply type ServiceNow, so these are all the actions that are present in Copilot Studio for ServiceNow. So you can create a record. So for the incident creation, I have used create a record, get record. So we have get record and list records. I have not used get record because get record usually requires a sys ID. That's a unique ID that resides inside ServiceNow. And usually, people don't communicate with sys ID. People communicate with the incident number. People communicate with the description of an issue. People communicate with the description of a knowledge base. Okay, so it's all natural language. So you don't have a sys ID at your disposal to just put into the chatbot and ask questions. So in that case, you use list records. Okay, so list records is something where you try to list records in ServiceNow using your authorization and credentials. So if you see here, it is trying to fetch the ServiceNow credential that I have. So initially this was not present. So here, whatever screen you can see here, initially it would give me three fields. First is the username, then the password, and then the instance URL. I just put in that, just clicked on next, and it gave me this connection. Once I submit this, you can see it will give me it will add that connector in the topic, and it will ask me what is the input for this topic, or what is the output that is desired. Okay, so let me navigate away from here so I can quickly show you how that action looks like. Okay, so if you see here, let me open create instance, this one. So this is the same connector. Okay, this is the same connector, the list records connector that we saw just before. This is the same action, just that it's what I've done is, so in Copilot Studio, what you can do is you can either use the connector directly from the search list, or you can define the connector under actions, and under actions you can decide how the bot will act on that connector. Okay, so instead of acting the connector on the fly, I prefer adding it to the actions, because in actions here, if you see, description for the agent to know when to use this action. So this is a very important field. Why? Because this is the context that you are giving to Copilot Studio, that okay, use this action whenever a user wants to create or raise an incident in ServiceNow for a particular issue. Using this understanding, using this context, the bot itself understand that okay, whenever someone is asking me something, I will show this action as a option. That okay, is this something you are talking about? Is this something that you want to do? Is this the create incidents what you want to do? So using this action is much more, I would say, preferable than directly adding a connector in the topic. Here, if you see, there is end user authentication. I have not used end user authentication. I have used Copilot user authentication, meaning the the Copilot Studio, the ID with which I have logged into Copilot, I have used that as an authentication, because my ServiceNow instance is deployed in some different domain and my Copilot instance is in different domain. But whenever you are working in an organization, everything will be under one single umbrella. So what you can do is you can enable user authentication. Using this user authentication, it will automatically decide, okay, whoever the person sitting in front of me or prompting in front of me, that person does not have access to ServiceNow, so they should not be asking this particular question. So it will block it immediately right then and there. Okay, so if you see here, I just added that action. It's the same connector, I added it. It's just that I get an additional what you can say flavor here, that I can describe what at what prompting this action should be triggered. So here, if you see, I have given a description. Coming to the input section, so input, just for now, if you see here, the record type, I have set the record type as incident, meaning whenever this action is triggered, that means I am trying to create an incident. Because if you go here, let's assume if yeah, so let's assume if you see here, these are all the tables that are present in ServiceNow. Okay, so whenever I'm doing a create record, it will always ask me that in which table you want to create this record. So I have defined here incident. Why? Because that's the name of the table in ServiceNow. So that is the record type. Then this display system references. So what happens is, if you guys are familiar with the C sharp terminology of enums meaning, let's assume what is the enum for true or false, boolean, like true or false. So it can either be true or false, nothing else. So what happens on the table level is you don't save strings. Instead, for example, if you see here, you see this incident. Okay, I raised this incident. If you see here, this is a freshly raised incident today, and if you see the date and time is 3:43 IST. So just before this session, doing the dry run, I tried to raise an incident using the chatbot, and it successfully raised this incident. So if you see here, there is multiple states here. So what happens is, behind the scenes, it is not saved as, the status is not saved as new against an incident. It is saved as 1. In progress is saved as 2, then 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so what I want to do is, whenever I am pinging back to user, I don't want to display the status as 1 because that is confusing. What I want is you find out the references within the table and find the corresponding status that corresponds to 1. What is the status corresponding to 1 inside your table? You fetch that automatically. So that is why I have set this to true. So this way what happens is, the developer jargon and terminology is completely eliminated, and you have a seamless chat experience between all your three entities, that is the user, the ServiceNow, and Copilot Studio. Okay, then we have exclude reference links. So this is the same concept. There are, for example, what happens is, in SQL you don't have a single table, you have multiple tables, and then you have relation between each table, and those tables are linked with reference links. So if there is a reference link, then I have set the value true. You go and find out what's the reference link, and you just fetch me the details. Okay, now caller is nothing but, if you see here, this little field. So whenever you raise an incident, you find that a caller is a mandatory field. Without a caller, so that's common sense, that you cannot raise an incident without having an issue. So if I have an issue, my name will come there. So for now, I'm using David Miller because I cannot use my Copilot ID directly because it's in different domains. So I will use David Miller as the user. I will impersonate this person David, and I'll try to raise an incident. Okay, so let me quickly refresh my screen once. And I'll try to create an incident first. Okay, so this is the first message that you see here. So how is this message coming up? So if you go to topics, there are some custom topics, and there is a greeting topic. So it will automatically not the greeting topic, it's gonna say start. Yeah, gonna say start. So it will you see here, it is giving that, hello, I'm a bot, a virtual assistant, I can help you fetch. So whenever user refreshes the screen, or they click on the Copilot icon in any of the apps, this is the first message that they see. Okay, so what I will do, I want to raise an incident in ServiceNow. I hope it works because this is all generative content. Okay, so what is it asking? To clarify, do you mean? Okay, so there are multiple topics, right? So it is clarifying what is the actual operation that you want to carry out. So it is asking create a new incident, get me incident detail, and none of these. So I want to create a new incident. So let's see what it asks. What is your name? So I'm trying to impersonate David Miller. So I'll just type David Miller. Let's see. What is a short description of the issue you are doing? Please provide a brief. Okay. So let's assume that my laptop is not working and my screen goes blank. Something. Okay. So let's see what it does. Okay, so it says the same incident has been created successfully. The incident number is this, and the short description is this. Okay, so let's quickly verify this. I'm not sure if this is created or not, so let me refresh the screen. Okay, so it's the first one. Okay, yeah, so see, it has automatically created the incident in ServiceNow with the state. Now why there is no assignment group assigned to, and maybe in your organization assignment group is compulsory, it should be there. that's fine. All that is fine. What you can do, you can go to actions, you can go into this action, and under the input section, yeah, you can click on this add button and you can add fields. So if you see, you can add, like, you see, you add all these fields like assignment, group, service, and you just provide a description as well. Description, I would say, is a very important part of all this, because the description helps the bot ask the right questions and make your functionality work. So description should be crisp and precise and to the point. Okay, now let me get out of this, otherwise it will save something. So let me second move to the second scenario. Let's go with the knowledge base. I want to uh, find out if you have any knowledge base on Outlook. So what I'm trying here is, I already have a knowledge base. I have shortlisted one knowledge base here, because if you see here, this is the content of that knowledge base. Okay, so I'm trying to fetch this content in the bot directly without navigating to this part. So this is, I won't provide the number. I'll just provide the short description or something relating to the short description, because that is the beauty of natural language. So you just converse with the natural language. So something about like Outlook issues or something, I don't know. So it will try and find something about the Outlook issues. Okay, so if you see here, okay, that's very good. It is, here is the latest knowledge article regarding Microsoft Outlook issues. This article explains how to use 2010 for Exchange accounts. So if you see here, 20 Exchange, yeah. So this is the article that it is fetched. Okay, so it is successfully fetching the knowledge base as well. So let me get out of this and go to the agent again. So what we have covered so far, we have covered the incident creation. Keep in mind, I'm not going with all the designing and very very deep designing. I'm trying to keep things light here, just trying to propagate the idea that how you can use Copilot Studio as a starting point within your organization very easily. So let me try an incident lookup. I want to know the status of my incident in ServiceNow. Yeah, so okay, it is again trying to clarify. So get me incident details from ServiceNow. So can you provide your yeah? So here is that authorization policy. So this is where I have added a layer of authorization just to give you a taste of how things might look for you. So I would use David Miller, because that is the person I'm instead. Something like this, example.com. I hope this works. Can you provide me the incident number? So let's provide the incident that we just raised. So this is the incident number, right? So it is this one. So let's see what happens. So okay, it's giving me a bulleted list of all this. So let's make sure that this is correct. So this is the incident number. Status is new. My laptop is not working. My screen is blank. Inquiry help. Subcategory not specified. Assignment is not sorted, not specified. Not available. So if I come here, status is new. This is the description. Not specified. Not specified. And there is no last note. Yeah. So yeah, this is also not specified. So I think it is also, let me change this and try to do something. Antivirus, or let's see what happens. Let me refresh this. Let me make some more changes. Okay, let's go with this. It is again asking me my authorization. This is the incident number. Yeah, so the subcategory is automatically updated by antivirus. Okay, so that is how it is able to, so that is how it fetches the data. It's all API behind the scenes. So for the more technical part, I'll cover the API as well, how we are talking with the, how did I know that there is a table in ServiceNow called incidents, and from that table I have to refer some things, or there is a table called as knowledge article. So if you see here, there is if you just go to your developer instance, you will have this navigation pane on the left hand side. You can quickly type REST API. I think you have to download knowledge. Uh, I think you have to download a API Explorer. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Mhm. I'm trying to make sure that I'm at the correct page or not. No, this is the correct page. Okay. So if you see here, this API Explorer will help me identify using a simple get post put request. I'll just try to run the operations here, and then based on this, I'll design it in Copilot Studio. So this is, you can imagine that this is your postman window, but you don't need any kind of authorization because it is directly embedded into ServiceNow. So you just click on the table name and you try to go to incident. If you just type incident, there are multiple these tables. So after some filtering, I figured out that it's the first one, that is the incident table. And just to see how things look like, so I'll just click on send. Okay, so here it will give me, it will do a limit to one, meaning it will limit to only one record. And here if you see, it is giving upon rejection something, and link and incident number is present. And as I said, the reference links, display reference link, as I said, right, there are links that the tables refer to other tables. So I don't want those links in my prompt. I want Copilot to directly figure out the link between two tables and fetch the data. So this is the links I'm talking about. So that is why I set that to true in Copilot Studio. So it will automatically do that. So this is how that API response looks like. So I have not designed anything within the Copilot Studio. So if you go to actions and if you open any action, and if you go to the output section, you will see I have not given it like a parse JSON or something like parse this JSON, grab these data and do this and that. Nothing. In the output section, whatever output I wanted, I just added them here. Okay, you can click on add, you add the output. It is automatically parsing the data. Okay, it does not require to parse it. I just added the data, provided the description that this is the incident number that what we just created, and this is a short description that was just created. So it returned these two. If you want assignment group, assignment assign twos, and then you can click on add, and you can just click on assign to assignment group, and you can add those things here as well. So it will automatically return that output. What makes it generative AI is if you scroll down the output mode. So I am storing all the data. That means whatever data is coming to me, it is automatically storing it here. Okay, all this JSON is stored automatically. And here, if you see, there is a small checkbox, send a message immediately after running this action, because my user is expecting a response back after providing all the data. So this is important. So I need to send in a message immediately. And here I have two options: either I create a message, or I can create an adaptive card, or I can let the AI decide dynamically how it can generate a message. So I have selected the dynamic part of things, so I don't have to do much of the formatting options and all those things. It will automatically get these output. It will decide what is the proper syntax and grammatical error and semantic and all those things, and it will give the prompt directly. If you have an adaptive card in your mind, you can use that, or you can create a devise your own message. It's fairly simple. And what I would like to cover is this topic side of things. So whenever we asked something, so you saw, right, that it is asking me to clarify, did you mean this? To clarify, did you mean that? So how did it do that? So there is this topic. So I just open a topic. There is these phrases. Okay, so if you see get me incident details from ServiceNow. So I have already said it that use these phrases. Whenever you see these phrases, show up this topic as a option to the user. Okay, when the user selects this option, this action starts, this topic starts running. So in the question section, can you provide me the email ID registered with ServiceNow ID? So I'm storing the user's entire response, and I'm storing it in a variable called as the email ID. And here in the connector, what I'm doing is I am trying to find that user in the sys user table. This is a table in ServiceNow, which is a list of all the users in ServiceNow. If the user is not present, so if you see here, I'm taking those results. I'm making sure that it has some value. I don't care what the value is, what the name of the person is. It should have some value. If it does not have any value, so if you go to the test section, so you see get records, I'll click on this. So you see this is the values. Doesn't matter what the value is, it should have some value. Returning a value from the above, from this action, demonstrates that this user is present in ServiceNow. What I can do is then I can ask a question again, what is the incident number, and then I'll just pass the get incident information action, and it will automatically take care of everything. What if the user is not registered in ServiceNow? It will automatically say that the email ID provided is not registered, and I redirect it to a fallback topic. It will say that okay, do you want me to do something else or something else? Okay, with that I'll take a pause, and we'll open everyone for a Q&A. And yeah.
Hey, thanks, Kaiser and Rakesh. I'm sure I definitely got a different purview of how the integration really happens. So on that note, I'm like a little curious to understand. Okay, ServiceNow, Copilot Studio, good. Now, what if I have to understand any other application or anything? If I have to integrate, what is the key components that I have to take care of?
Yeah, so what I understood, I think you might be saying that what if an application is present, and what if your application is not listed as a connector in Copilot Studio, right? That might be a case. So what you can do is you can go to your topics. Okay, you can click on this. But as we know, the Power Automate library is extensive. The Power Automate has thousands of connectors. Last I checked, it was 1222 connectors. So if you click on this, you have an add an action, and here you can see there is a let your agent automatically complete task. So you have a Power Automate flow.
Are you sharing the
Let's assume,
screen?
yeah, okay. I'm not sharing my screen.
No,
Yeah, I'm
no.
sharing my screen. Let me quickly do it again. Yeah, is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you see here, you have a plus icon here. You just click on the plus icon. You go to you go to add an action, and here you see new Power Automate flow.
Okay.
So whatever connector you don't have inside the Copilot Studio, you can search in Power Automate. Let's assume it is not even available in Power Automate. Then what we will do? Then what you need to do is you need to develop a custom connector in Power Automate, reference that custom connector in your flow, trigger that flow using Copilot Studio. So the horizon of possibility is vast. You can do anything.
Okay. But definitely, as a beginner, if I want to dwell into deep into getting these taught, what is the key aspects I have to remember? I know there are a lot of things about connectors, all that part. But as a beginner, if someone wants to dwell into it and start building something and integrate, what are the key components the key factors that they should focus on to start with?
Yeah. So as we all heard, when the generative AI wave came in, people were focusing that there was this job posting going on every YouTube ad that are you an AI engineer? You're a prompt engineer. My package is this and that. So always remember, this prompting is an art. So as I said, within your actions there is a description. This description is a prompt. It's not just a description for the namesake. You cannot just write a single statement here. If you notice here, these are the tokens. So why is there a track of token here? There is a track of token here because this is the prompt. So if you remember, the number of tokens accepted by OpenAI is 1024. Okay, for the current model for that is working behind Copilot Studio. So this description should be well crafted. It should be precise to the point so that your agent doesn't confuse it with some with a different topic. Okay.
Okay.
Secondly, what you have to make sure is the whatever connector you are using, make sure that you first test it in Postman, because everything here is working in API. I was lucky enough that the Postman side of things was directly embedded into ServiceNow. I could just open ServiceNow, click on this like send button, see what it is, and it was fairly simple to understand. It was rudimentary. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure always that how is this API working. You learn how the API is working. Whatever API you're using, communicate with that API. Get the idea what will be sent back to me or what I need to display. And here as well, if you are not clear, what will happen. So that is where the generative AI comes in. You can just provide again a proper description, a precise to the point description, which is a prompt, which will help the uh, Copilot understand that okay, this is something I have to do in a specific way, then it will handle it automatically.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, just checking, Rakesh, we have one questions from the couple of questions from the audience. Just one. Can Copilot display screenshots in the ServiceNow knowledge base article?
Yeah, so this is something I also thought, but I have not. I would say it will do that, but just to reduce the, what can I say? Because whenever you ping, whenever you prompt in Copilot, it is consuming some
Important.
messages. Yeah, it is consuming some messages behind. It will do that, but displaying a screenshot, it will do is it will consume more messages. So I was trying to be on the safer side of things because I was testing immensely. So if I would display a screenshot again and again, it will consume more messages. So the screenshot is possible. Yeah.
But from a
Okay.
technology perspective, the answer is yes.
Okay. All right. And since we've come up with so many use cases, what could the possibility of advanced use cases could be?
Advanced use case, as I said, Copilot is still maturing, so you
Uh-huh.
cannot expect big things from it. It can still do things, but not very big things. So I would recommend whenever you are going through advanced side of things, let's assume you want to perform a very specific and very complex task in some application. You try to use the natural language power of Copilot. Beneath that, you accommodate Power Automate, Power Apps, other applications, okay, and then you handle the big task, the heavy lifting activities using Power Automate. You let Copilot handle the natural language side of things, and you let Power Automate take over from behind the scenes. Because at the end of the day, generative AI is still non-deterministic. Okay, that output is that output can be anything. Even I did not know today. I was coming to the session. I did not know whether it will work or not. I already took several screenshots, but luckily
So
it worked.
predictable, and the responses are,
Hmm.
we don't get into hallucinating parts, so we have to be
Hmm.
extra cautious with the
Yes.
inputs, and we don't know how the output is. One
Hmm.
person will not get the same output. That is also true.
Yeah.
On the same line, I think Fatima has another question. How do I enter screenshot this Copilot response? We are having difficulty with this. So, did you kind of encounter such scenarios, Kaiser or Rakesh?
Can you repeat the question? Your voice was breaking through.
How do I ensure screenshots display in Copilot responses?
Okay, so usually what happens is these screenshots when you so everything is a game of API. So whenever you have APIs, so the API within API, as I understand, it will use a base 64 encoded string. Okay, then on the Copilot end, you have to have that what can I say facility to decode that base 64 code. It will not automatically do that. You can decode it, and then there is a particular action called as message. Within that message, you can supply that screenshot and then display it on the screen.
But again, the question that she has asked, any specific uh, errors that she is maybe getting, maybe we can connect offline and try to see anything that we can support or guide her.
Totally, Rakesh. I think Fatima, we will leave Rakesh and Kaiser's social handles. If they're totally fine with it, we will leave their handles in the comment section. Please do connect with them, and let us know if you need another session on some particular use cases or few responses or certain type of common issues that you face, so that we can come up with a video exclusively covering those aspects. And yeah, thank you so much, Rakesh, Kaiser. That was a wonderful session giving an overview of how ServiceNow action with Copilot Agent, a very different flavor of Copilot, which we deal on a day-to-day basis. Thank you so much again. And Parth, thank you so much for being a great host, and audience. Thank you again for the overwhelming response. And till then, see you with another speaker. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, guys.
Kamal. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.